Hey guys, welcome back to me looking naked, but I am actually not naked. It's just very hot. This is so stupid. We all like decluttering, right? Getting rid of things. Get to the end of a product and go, yes, I'm finally done with this. Is that just me? Surely not. I love the feeling of using up a product and going, yes, I got my money's worth. I love that feeling. I have way too many products that just sit unused, untouched, or maybe I've used them once or twice and I just am not getting my money's worth. So I have decided to do a project pan. The way I'm doing this is I'm going to get ready with all of these products that I'm deciding to put in my project pan, creating kind of like a capsule makeup routine, sort of. You know, like how you have capsule wardrobes? I'm doing that with makeup. I want to just create a small set of products that I just use on a daily basis, with the exception of special events, yada yada. Get through those first. I've got way too many things lying around that I don't get through, and I want to actually focus on getting through them. So that is what we are doing today. I'll be getting ready with these products. I'll explain why I've added each of these things to my list and show you guys me using these products. I don't know, I thought it was a little bit different. Might be fun. Get your blankie, get your water, get your snacks, and let's freaking do this. Try not to make the mic peak level impossible. So I need your guys' help. I have started to narrow it down a little bit with some things, but with others, I need your feedback, okay? And I need you to be brutally honest with me. Promise, I have already moisturized, I applied skincare, everything. I'm just going to start with primer now. I am picking between two products. The first one is the CoverGirl True Blend Base Business. Really like this one. I love the way it smells too. And then the other one is the Benefit Professional Primer. It's a tried and true. I love this one. This one makes me look amazing in real life, on camera. It is truly like a filter. Like if this is a filter in primer form. I think this one I'll get through pretty quickly. As you can see, I've used up quite a bit of it. I don't know, maybe I just use this one up. I also don't really want to use it up because it's really good. I feel like this is good for special occasions. As far as everyday, I'm hesitant just to like mow through it, but this is where I need your guys' help. Do I save this for more like when I really want a full face looking amazing event kind of thing? Do I save this? It's small enough. It doesn't really take a lot of space. This one, to be honest, this CoverGirl one, it's nothing amazing. It's okay. I just want to get through it. So, I mean, I'm leaning towards this one, but let me know what you guys think. I'm just going to apply this CoverGirl one. Okay. Well, maybe that was a little bit too much. I just start in my T-zone, make my way outward. I think this is another great time to do this. I think some of you guys know, but we're in the middle of building house. One thing I definitely want to do before we move is declutter. Part of decluttering for me, I guess, is just making my way through products that I've had for a long time. I've been doing that with skincare already. I should have saved all the bottles to do empties videos. But yeah, I had like a ton of ordinary products that I have been trying to get through because I kind of went a little bit crazy a few years ago. Just was like buying a bunch of stuff even though I wasn't even actively using them. This, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to do for foundation. So I have this, which I just bought this bottle. So this is the Conceal and Perfect Milani Foundation. I do like this one, but the only problem is that it's a little bit light for me. Looking pretty pale, so it's probably fine. I'm just going to apply this, and I do like to use a sponge with this one to blend it out. So yeah, like I mentioned, we are moving. I'm not sure exactly. We don't have a handover date yet. I mean, we're getting close to the end of the second fixing stage, so, you know, we've got cornicing, doors, tile, almost all of the tiles are down now. We've got cabinetry, we've got countertop. The only downside is that our bricks aren't even done. Basically, my builder was like, well, if you want to move into your house this century, then please let us continue on the inside, even though your bricks aren't done, which is like, you know, you work with what you got, okay? So without adding too much coverage, I love this foundation, by the way, and I'm sure I will have no issues blowing my way through this. Instead of caking on more foundation, I have a ton of these ColourPop no filter concealers. I'm really scraping like the sides of these bottles. Also, the doe foots have broken, so that's not great. So what I like to do is use a clean finger and kind of cover up some boys here. And yes, I do call them boys because they're troublesome. It's like boys, am I right? Am I right, ladies? You know what? I could probably add some coverage on my chin because that just seems to be a trouble area at the moment. I know I've been breaking out a lot recently. Mostly on my chin, around the area. You know what? You know what it is? It's touching my face is the quickest way to get me to break out. You gotta get yourself something to fidget, like with your hands. Get like a fidget cube, or I don't know, maybe one of those rings that you can play with. I love fidget cubes. I love like squishy, stretchy things. If you have the urge to pick your face, just find something else to fiddle with, pick at, whatever. Just don't do it to your face, please. I used to pick at my face all the time, and I had scars and hyperpigmentation, and it took me years to reverse a lot of that damage. I mean, luckily my skin is mostly good now. Now I'm just getting like sun damage. Joys of living in Australia. Put your sunscreen on, for fuck's sake. I didn't put sunscreen on today just because I don't plan on going outside or being near any large windows. I'm not doing that, but if you are leaving the house, wear that, but I'm not gonna include sunscreen in this just because what I wear depends on what I'm doing. Do I need a waterproof sunscreen? Do I need something really matte? Is it hot? Am I wearing makeup? Am I not wearing makeup? Is it cold? Can I use a more moisturizing sunscreen? It just depends. So that I'm not gonna include. Is that cheating? So I'm gonna use up, let's see, this is in the shade Light 16. I have a lot of other open ColourPop concealers, but they're just not in this shade. They're for like when I'm more fair and it's like winter. Now that we're going into summer, this is like usually my go-to is the Light 16, and that usually matches my skin. For like contouring slash bronzing, I don't use a contour or a bronzer generally. I actually use a foundation. This is again another one that I'm getting really close, but there still is quite a bit of product in here, and this will probably last me a long time, and you'll see why. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. This one is in the shade Warm Beige, and these smell really good, by the way. It smells like peaches. It smells delightful. Absolutely delightful. So I like this one because it's not oily. Again, I try my best to find products that are not oily. The finish can be matte or like semi-matte. I just need to avoid super oily foundations because my skin is very acne prone, and I've worked very hard to keep it clear. So I would like to keep it that way. I use this shade and I just I'll dot a little bit like this on each side, and I apply it a little bit higher than the hollows. I just start blending it. Now this looks crazy, okay? So just stay with me here. We're just warming her up, you know? It all comes out in the wash, all right? Let me get a little bit of the excess down here. I have a hair on my face. Get out. Okay, so I'm actually gonna add a little bit more foundation just here because I don't think I added enough. So when I apply my foundation, I try not to go too high up into the eye just because I find that it tends to accentuate my fine lines that I have there. So instead of taking that area with foundation, I leave it bare until I apply powder, and I find that because you're going to get creasing under here. I mean, you know. So I just try not to put product right under my eye. I try not to blend it up that high. Why am I sweating? I was fine like 10 minutes ago and now I'm hot as hell. Okay, and for any friends, any boys, just using that ColourPop concealer. One spot I also like to get is like right under my nose. Okay, my chin needed some extra help, so we gave that to her. I don't love this blush. It's okay. This is the Berry M Fresh Face Cheek and Lip Tint. I've actually never used it as a lip tint. I think I tried it once and I didn't like it. The color is way too light. I mean, once I blend it out, it's not too bad. Yeah, I mean, it is, you know. Ah! Blend. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Wow, she is looking very embarrassed. I'm gonna blend it like kind of into the eye. Very sun-kissed today. Wow. All right, well, we made it work. That was a bit of an oopsie. You can barely even tell I have it on, okay? If I were to apply a product to brighten my under eye, I like something a little bit more wet. This is the Maybelline 30-Hour Concealer in the shade 10. Cool. I love shades that are numbers just a little bit. I find that you blend it right, a little can go a long way. To be honest, I prefer to use my fingers, especially when you get to this point on the face. The sponge just absorbs too much product, even if it's super wet. Okay, so I'm going to cake the rest of this concealer on my eyelid. Any that's left is what I normally do. I just start blending out that area because it usually is very creased with foundation. Before I apply powder, I like to do my eyebrows. You know what? I'm finding I don't like this primer. I think the primer is actually, now that I'm looking closely, the primer is like, it's kind of ruining my foundation. Especially in here where I tried to apply more foundation, it looks like shit. Also, it did not help my nose at all. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is like not good looking. That looks very bad. And my nose looks very holy. Look how holy my nose looks. You can see. What are we doing? CoverGirl, you let me down right now. Is this video a fail? I think this video already sucks. Zurri, we can salvage this. I like to do my brows because I don't like to apply powder right after I've applied my foundation, because usually I find what happens is apply powder on a wet foundation, more of that powder tends to stick and it gets more cakey. So I like to wait until it's dried down a little bit, then I apply powder, and I find that way it's a lot easier to apply less. I don't care what you do whatever you want. For brows, I like this e.l.f. Wow Brow. So this is in taupe, I'm pretty sure. I have very overplucked blonde brows, as you can see. But don't worry, we'll get more precise. So I do that first, and then I have this OXX Cosmetics brow blade. So one side is a felt tip, and then the other side is like a gel stick. And I kind of just go back over and just lightly create shape. Now, I'm not trying to be super harsh. I'm being very feathery and delicate because I don't want to end up with Sharpie brows. I'm just trying to fill in where the brush didn't catch hair, which is a lot of places because I don't have hair, a lot of hair there. Sisters, not twins. And you know what? I'm not afraid to use my fingers on my brows. I use my fingers for a lot of things. McGrath says your hands are like your best tools, and I take that to heart because I like to clean up with another brush, and you'll see that in a moment. So once I have basic symmetry, and like I said, sisters, not twins, and I don't want this to be too heavy, I have found at least for my face and my features and my hair and my skin tone, avoiding pressure when I apply product to my brows and just keeping it very light and closer to blonde really makes my face look softer. I find that when I just go in with something like this, like a felt tip, and I just go ham and start brushing in, like I start doing strokes of hairs, it doesn't look right. It looks too harsh on me. I don't have a very angular face, right? So I find that when I start applying products really harshly in the brows, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look like it belongs on my face. I almost always only use this one side with the gel. If I'm really wanting to feel like striking, maybe I will go in underneath and use the felt tip to kind of like define underneath the brow, or maybe the tail or something like that. But I'm talking like very, very softly. But I don't feel like I need to do that today, so I'm not going to. Next thing I do is I go in with a brush like this, like a very flat concealer brush. I don't know, I think this is like some really old Wet n Wild one. It's lasted me for ages, lasted me like almost 10 years. So I use this, and I either go in with a concealer or I actually just use my foundation. I will just get a little bit of it here, like a very small smidge, get on the back of my hand. I don't want to apply too much, but really all I'm trying to do is, we're basically just carving out the brow, but in a really soft way. I don't want to see that I've done this, right? When I do this, I don't want it to look obvious. I want it to look very natural, and this just be my brows. What do you mean? I didn't put makeup on. This is just how my brows are. That is how I like to do my brows. You can set it with clear brow gel. I don't do that because I don't like the way that looks for my brows personally, and I find that just using the Wow Brow is enough. Sometimes I will go in again with it after I've filled it in with the gel, and I'll just go back in and reapply product so that my brows aren't too like groomed looking. Trying to get through this OXX brow blade and this e.l.f. Wow Brow. This lasts me so long. I don't know when I'll run out of this. It seems to be never ending. It's like an endless brow gel. I don't know there's magic in here. I don't understand it. Okay, so before I do my eyeballs, I will apply powders. Powder that I'm trying to use up. I have a couple of powders that I use depending on, again, it kind of depends on what I'm doing. If I'm, going for a full face and I need it to last all night and maybe it's dimmer, like a nighttime event, something like that, I've got a couple of options. So I've been trying out this Jaclyn Cosmetics, what is this one? This is like the Luminous powder in Doomy. This doesn't look good on me. It's maybe a little bit too dark. It gets too cakey. I mean, look at that. It's also, I think, too yellow for me. I have used it a few times. I don't know how I feel. Maybe I need to be more tan for this to look good. So I'm gonna stick stick with this powder here. This is the Extraordinary Translucent Powder by Ciate London. This is what it is. It's just a translucent powder. I like this because it's a lot easier to get a very light application. I take this sponge here. You can get these anywhere now. I just put some in my lid, you know, tap off some extra. I don't want to go too cakey under here. And I just start applying it under the eyes. Again, I'm not wanting too much here. I find for me, less is definitely more. Put some on my chin, on my nose, and my forehead. Under here, under my nose. I spilled a perfume on this. I mean, I didn't use much. I mean, you saw how much I had in there. It wasn't a lot. There's still quite a bit in there. That might be a while until I run out of this. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to this one and just see how long it takes me to get through it. Okay, now this is where I know I'm gonna struggle. I need you guys' help. There's a few palettes that I go back and forth. I don't want to have to depot things. I want to keep things in the original packaging if I can. At the moment, I've been using this Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette quite a bit, really for a couple of colors specifically. So I like this one here. I really like this shimmer shade. If I want to deepen it up for the lash line and the outer corners, I use this one here. I find that most of the time is dark enough for my features and my skin and my eyes. But sometimes I want something a little bit darker. Sometimes I want an inner corner highlight that's a little bit lighter. I guess what I'll do, I'll stick to this and just see how much of this I can get through. But I guess with palettes, it's so hard to use every shade because some of these I just will not really use a lot. I mean, these like more blush tones, I don't find I use those a lot. But you know what? Maybe this will force me to branch out. Maybe this is a good challenge for me. I can only use one palette until it's gone. That would be insane. Can you imagine? I can only use this until each pot is gone. Okay, that's a bit too harsh, I think. So yeah, I'll just show you what I normally do when I use this, and then I guess I'll decide if I want to go this route. Maybe I'll just do a project pan that doesn't apply to eyeshadows, because maybe that is a bit too restricting. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. If you do this, do you stick to one eyeshadow palette? I think that would be really hard for me. I'm going to use this tan shade in a la mode. Oh my god, I didn't put primer. I actually don't find a lot of times that I use eye primer. What I end up doing is just blending out remnants of foundation and concealer, and that tends to work pretty well for an eye primer. But I have a few eye primers, but the one that I go to when I really need a hold, none other than the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. But I have this little tiny one. I have gone through many of these tubes though. I do love this. It's a tried and true classic eyeshadow primer. I find that I only really whip it out when I need it to last all night, and that's just not usually the case for every day. I don't need it to last for 84 days, okay? Just like a night. So I'm actually not going to use eye primer, but this is what I would normally use. Also, I am wearing eye tape, so I will take that off. No, that's not part of the project pan. Eye tape does work if you apply it regularly, because I've got you can probably see it sometimes, but oh yeah, it just went back to normal. You can see that the fold in each eye is different, so I like to use tape on this eye to get the fold similar to this one. It's very hard to do sometimes. I do apply eyeshadow over my eye tape and it kind of works. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I don't like to go too crazy with the shade. Okay, I like to apply this like pink shimmer shade on the lid. So we're just using our fingers. This is like my everyday go-to. If I just need to get ready and I need a look that I know is going to be decent, this is what I do. For eyeliner, I don't really use a lot of liquid liner at the moment. So I have this Revolution, what is this? It's a Revolution London eyeliner in brown. This is a very cheap pencil liner. I will say it can smudge and transfer if you're not careful. So it's really not great if you need something to in its spot for hours. This one can be a little difficult to work with, but I make it work. So I just apply it to the tight line, and I apply it over the lashes too, kind of like how you would just any old eyeliner. As close to the lash line as I can get. I don't go too far in because I don't have a lot of lid space. Once I have that liner applied, I go in with a flat liner brush like this. This one is, I don't fucking know, it doesn't matter. And I go in with that dark brown shade. Now this is as dark as I go. So this is going on, like this is acting as liner. So I apply the pencil and I pack it on the pencil. And I find that this will prevent it from smudging. And I flick it out just a a little bit. Not too much, because we're really not trying, I'm not doing a cat eye. I mean, you could do that if you wanted to, and I do that sometimes, but I haven't been doing that often recently. So I take a fluffy flat brush like this. So I don't apply anything to it, but what I do is I diffuse it. And as I diffuse, I'm moving up. So diffusing upward, specifically on the outside of the eye. So I'm diffusing and moving up. Diffusing, upward, upward, upward. I'm just starting here. I'm not going too high because you'll get messy pretty easily if you go too high to begin with. So upward, upward, upward. So you kind of see you have the beginnings of a really pretty diffused cat eye. And if you need to clean this up, like I do, I just use that flat sealer brush and just go shoop. I'm just gonna keep going. Maybe remove some product from the brush and really move this up again, upward, upward, upward. All right, now I've lost a little bit of the intensity, so I'm gonna go back in with the powder, reapply it at the base of the lash right. So re-add that intensity and then same thing, slowly drag it upward. And I kind of do, it's hard to explain, but when I'm blending it out here, I kind of blend in like triangle like this. When I move this far out, I don't want to blend up too much. I mostly want to blend up to here and then back down to where, you know, a cat eye would be. So I do this because I have hooded eyes. If I go too far out here, well, I open my eye and it starts to look really crazy. If I kind of do like a triangle motion, like I'm going up this way, but then coming back down once I get to the outer part of the eye, that's kind of how I'm blending it. If I could not lose everything, that'd be nice. And then if I need to clean up out here, I just use that concealer brush. So that is basically what I would do if I was just trying to keep it natural but still have a nice cat eye. So I just have to be really intentional about how I blend and what direction I'm blending and how far I'm going. I can't just be doing wind washer wipey motions and then it all just comes out in the wash. It doesn't work like that on hooded eyes. Sometimes I will line the bottoms. What I find looks the best no matter what I do on the top of my eye, I go back underneath. So I find that, see, this is why it's so hard to do one palette, because for under the eye, I would not want to do something this warm. I don't like how that looks. I would prefer to go a little bit cooler for down here, almost acting as like a contour, kind of, because I'm really not wanting to draw attention to the bottom of my eye. I just want it to give the appearance of being well-rounded. Unfortunately, I am going to reach into another palette for this. This is the Lorac Pro 2 palette. I'm using this light brown shade. This is a success story for hitting pan. This palette is well loved, as you can tell. So I like to go with maybe a bit more of a neutral transition shade for underneath. And if I had a flesh tone pencil, I would use that, but I don't have one. Maybe what I can do is use a combination of this Lorac Pro 2 palette, because there are also, if I really want to go drama, I've got these darker shades in here that the Pumpkin Spice palette doesn't have. If I could bend the rules a little bit, maybe I would do a combination of these two. Is that okay? Can we do that? Thanks for understanding. For mascara, this is the Lash Warrior by Flower. I've actually already emptied one of these and I repurchased it because it's just, I don't know, was $6 Australian, which is pretty cheap. You know, it works. It's buildable. The wand is not too bad. That's all I could ask for. Not too bad. You know, I find with mascaras that are like $20, $30, they do not blow me away enough to justify purchasing them. I'm sorry. If it just means I have to work with the product a little bit more to get the same effect, then so be it. Love when I get mascara in my hair. It's my favorite thing. While I finish the rest of my face, I have been using this Berry M That's Swell. It's not as good as like the Too Faced one. It does work. That's Swell Extreme Lip Plumper. I've been liking this one a lot, so I want to use that one up. And then if I'm looking at my face and going, it's just not enough definition, I need more drama. I have this Guerlain bronzer. This is their Terracotta Sun-Kissed Healthy Glow Powder, light and long lasting in deep golden. So I will use this. Oh my god, I just broke it. I literally just broke it. Holy fuck. I mean, I just abused it on camera. All right, well, so I'll just tap that on here. That on there, tappy up here, tap, tap, taparoo. Just tap it in. And then if I want to also apply blush, my go-to powder blush at the moment is this Flower blush in Peach Primrose. I think my cheeks are looking very rosy already. Don't think we need to add more. You know what I will do? I will apply the bronzer to my neck and my chin. And if you feel like you went maybe a little heavy-handed, when in doubt, pat it out. Did that do anything? Not really. Is this video a disaster? Kind of. Ooh, lips are starting to tingle. Finishing touches. We need a glow, right? We need some glow, some light back into the face. I would love to use the rest of this. This is my Fenty Beauty. This is the Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. And as you can see, this is Fire Crystal here. Very well loved. I love this one. This one here, Lightning Dust, it's just not as shimmery. It's a little bit more powdery and it doesn't reflect as much, which is nice sometimes, but I find that it just comes across too powdery on my skin and it makes it very obvious that I have highlighter on. Maybe I will just try and get down to the rest of this one here. So I apply this like basically everywhere. So I apply it here as highlighter, and I don't like to apply too much. I'm not in control of my own body when I put this stuff on. Top of my lips. Did she just eat a powdered donut, or is that highlight? You'll never know. And then I like to do above my brow here, just like a smidge, not a lot. I'm not trying to look oily. Once I have it in those bigger areas, I like to go in with a more precise brush like this. So I use the same highlighter. I'm telling you, I use this for everything. It's so good. And I love using the same product for multiple parts of the face because I just think it looks cohesive, effortless, natural. I love doing that. So I just apply this highlighter to the inner corner and I marry it to my eyeshadow. And I think it looks so good. You've got it here, you've got it on the lips, you've got it on the cheeks. Just gorgeous. And then a little bit, not too much, a little bit under the eyebrow. So the only other thing that I might do, lip liner. I'm trying to get my hair to where I like it. I hate my hair, okay? I'm never happy with how it looks. I actually have this Sephora one. This is in the shade Nothing But Nude. So I have this one. I have this Essence Stay 8-Hour liner. This one's very pink though. Also, apparently it's waterproof. I mean, I don't know how much I care about that. And then I also have this Becca Ultimate Lip Definer in Low Maintenance, but this one is very pale. Like very pale. I don't know how much I would use that. I'm gonna try the Sephora one. Oh, it needs to be sharpened. Oh. Okay, well, that didn't turn out so good. It's fine as long as it still works. I don't want to use a lot. I actually really like this shade. Now, if I could apply it properly, that would be nice. Woo! That lip plump is really tingling, you guys. And this stuff was so cheap, too. This is, oh, well, the Berry M. These are actually kind of expensive now, I think. I will stick to this Sephora one and try and use that one up. Again, when I contour my nose, it's not really something that looks good in person. It more looks good on camera than anything else. I mean, I think this is pretty much what I'm gonna go forward with for my Project Pan. Just to, I guess, go over everything I've mentioned. CoverGirl True Blend in Base Business. Then we had the Milani Conceal and Perfect Foundation in the shade Light. And then I go in with the Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation, this Berry M Cheek and Lip Tint. Got a mix of this ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Light 16, and this Maybelline 30-Hour Concealer. To set that, we've got the Ciate London Extraordinary Translucent Powder. For blush, we've got this Flower blush in Peach Primrose. And for bronzer, we've got the Terracotta Bronzer in Deep Golden by Guerlain. For brow products, we had the e.l.f. Wow Brow in Taupe and the OXX Cosmetics Brow Blade in the shade Light. The Fenty Beauty highlighter, it's the Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. And for eyes, if we really need it, this little dinky boy of Urban Decay Primer Potion. That is a call from my husband. Hi.
Hello.
We have just found out that the next phase of our house is done. If we're counting palettes in this, I think I want to include two. I've got the Lorac Pro 2 palette. For my main go-to eyeshadow palette would be the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette. The Flower Lash Warrior mascara. And for lips, Sephora Rouge Gel Lip Liner in Nothing But Nude 02. Lip gloss Extreme Lip Plumper from Berry M, and this is just a clear gloss. If I were to include lipsticks, I might include, if I wanted a nude, this is the Australis Girl Boss lipsticks. This is a satin lipstick in Lavish. So I love this one. It's like the perfect nude for me. I've also got this Chi Chi lipstick in Miss Social Media. It's similar but lighter. This is like more nude. This is like Hello 2013 nude. That is nude as fuck. That one might be hard to finish because I don't know how much I like it. With lip liner, it's not too bad. That is all. I'm very excited to begin this project pan. I'm feeling pretty good about how quickly I can use these products up. Like I mentioned, I mean, this concealer, I mean, she's already almost done. The highlighter, obviously one of my palettes. I mean, we've already hit pan, but I want to use her all up. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe I'll do an update in like a month or two and see how we're going. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Bye. Is it even recording? Somebody help me. Also, I realized after filming this that I seem very tired, and I'm pretty sure it's because I'm getting sick. It's 11 a.m. and I want to go to sleep. I want to sleep. Cut. And cut. And cut. This is so stupid. I'm done.